Welcome. This is the Senior Safety Advice Podcast, and we are so glad that you've made it to a calmer corner of your day. Here, we focus on real solutions, practical help, and the kind of encouragement we could all use a little more of. So let's get to it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Senior Safety Advice Podcast, where caring is always in season. I am delighted to have you join me today for a special episode that's all about tackling holiday travel with your aging parents. If this year's festivities have you planning a trip with mom and dad or another senior loved one, you've come to the right place. Today we're exploring the ways to make holiday travel happy and manageable and with just a little less stress. Get ready for essential safety tips, compassionate advice, and some stories from listeners and my own travels. Let's be honest, traveling with seniors isn't quite the same as those family road trips of the past. Yes, it means a little more packing and a bit more patience, but it's also a golden chance to create memorable experiences together. Some of the richest family moments can happen while navigating an airport, eating a meal in a faraway restaurant, or even sharing quiet downtime at the hotel. But before we get lost in holiday cheer, let's talk about how aging changes travel needs. A few years ago, I flew with my mom to visit relatives across the country. I will admit I had this picture in my head of her keeping up with the crowds and moving just like she did when I was a kid. Spoiler alert, things had changed. Between navigating escalators, remembering medications, and keeping her comfortable, I quickly realized this trip needed a different kind of planning. If you haven't spent time with your parents recently, do it before the trip. That way you'll have a better sense of what they can handle and what will keep them comfortable. Next, we're going to talk about planning, which is the secret ingredient to holiday travel success. So picture this, you're finally ready to book your tickets, but before clicking purchase, you want to hit pause. The most important part of traveling with seniors is the planning phase. Sit down with your aging parent or loved one and discuss ideas for the trip. Where do they want to go? What pace do they prefer or need? Are there dietary needs, medication restrictions, mobility issues to consider? Asking these questions up front means fewer surprises later. When I traveled with my dad, I always included him when planning holiday travels. We went over the itinerary and things that he could expect. I asked him to share his wish list, and sometimes he wanted the window seat on the plane, sometimes he just wanted extra downtime at the hotel. Giving seniors a sense of input makes the trip more enjoyable for everyone. So once the destination, dates, and budget are set, research is your new best friend. Check out your accommodations, the local restaurants, available tours if you're going to take any. If possible, duplicate the routines your parents have at home. Do they need a walk-in shower instead of a tub? Look for a hotel that provides that. How about breakfast provided on site? That's a huge win for anyone who needs medication with their food in the morning. During one trip, I learned the hard way about accessibility. I booked a boutique hotel without an elevator, which I never even thought of, but it meant lugging suitcases up 3 flights of stairs, and my father couldn't carry his suitcase, which meant I got to do it. That part was not enjoyable. Since then, I always call ahead to confirm if there's a ground floor room and an accessible shower. Also, if your parent doesn't usually use a wheelchair, they might welcome using one at the airport or for long walks. Security, comfort, and reduced fatigue are all in one with a wheelchair. However, my tip is to ask them before just going ahead and booking one. My dad was very proud. He did not use a cane or a walker or a wheelchair, even at 98 years old. So when we went somewhere when he was in his early 90s, we compromised. We'd walk a little and then we'd sit a bit, especially if we had a long walk to an airplane gate. Next, we're going to talk about packing, which is more than just taking socks and sweaters along. Packing for seniors comes with its own set of rules. First off, create a written checklist. Memory fades, especially when traveling and getting tired. Include every medication the person takes, the prescription details, comfort items, a copy of their medical records, and even bring favorite snacks. And don't forget about little extras like compression socks for sitting a long time in a plane or in a car, extra layers for unpredictable climates, and incontinence supplies if needed. Next, navigate airports and road trips by staying safe and sane. Airline travel can be a marathon. It is not a sprint. When booking flights, request pre-boarding, wheelchair assistance, and direct or morning flights if at all possible. Going through TSA can be daunting, so prepare documentation for medical devices or liquid medications ahead of time. And always pack essential medications in a carry-on, because checked luggage, as we all know, can sometimes take the scenic route. So you want to be sure you have the medication on hand. Here is another pro tip. Consider setting up a park stay and fly evening at a hotel near the airport. It takes the pressure off of getting to the terminal on time, reduces stress, and gives everybody a chance to rest before the big travel day. If you're hitting the road in a car, keep emergency supplies handy, plan frequent breaks to stretch legs, and check the forecast and traffic reports. GPS apps with live tracking let family know your progress, which feels especially comforting on longer drives. Next, let's talk about health and safety. Before you pack a single sweater, make time for a medical checkup. Your parent's doctor can flag any travel risks, refill prescriptions, and issue medical documentation, which is a true lifesaver if you encounter an emergency on the road. Double check refill dates and pack extra medication for emergencies. Also consider getting travel insurance for seniors, especially on international trips. Medicare typically does not cover care abroad, so ask about supplemental policies or evacuation coverage. Then we want to talk about balancing activity and rest. Travel is exciting, but avoid the urge to overschedule. Seniors need downtime, so build rest periods into each day. Museums, parks, half-day guided tours, and plenty of chill time strike a balance between adventure and comfort. Check the day's energy level. Sometimes a cozy afternoon at the hotel beats sightseeing. And hydration is key. Keep water bottles handy and remind seniors to sip often. One of the most meaningful parts of family travel is reconnecting with old friends or distant relatives. Detours to see a childhood buddy or a cousin can elevate the trip. Older adults particularly treasure these gatherings, and they offer a local flavor you'll never get from a tour guide. Then there's emergency planning. Travel always has surprises, so prepare for contingencies. Who has a copy of the medication list? Does everyone share contact info for local health providers? Store documents in multiple formats, on paper, in your phone, and with a trusted relative at home. Beware of free hotel or cafe Wi-Fi when checking accounts or medical portals. Set up your parents' phone with secure apps and help them find reliable connections by asking hotel staff, not guessing. Again, strongly consider travel insurance and keep essential medications and medical equipment with you at all times, rather than in checked luggage. Also make sure you bring with a list of doctors and their contact information, just in case something comes up, such as leaving an important medication at home by accident. Traveling with aging parents is an effort, but it builds lasting memories. Road trip chats reveal stories that might never surface at home. They can be sparked by simple things like passing through a city or seeing an area from the past, or maybe by eating a food that brings up a favorite memory. These are the moments that shape us. Here are some rapid-fire travel tips for caregivers and older adults. First, Pack light but not too light. Carry essentials, and you can always buy extras at your destination. Use travel apps for itinerary, gate info, and directions. Ask about senior discounts at attractions and hotels. They're everywhere, and I don't know how about you, but I always forget to ask, so make sure to do that. Keep snacks, water, and medications handy at all times. Request special services at airports and hotels. Don't be shy. Always check hotel accessibility, like elevators, walk-in showers, and grab bars. Arrange for transportation ahead. Don't count on finding taxis or rental cars at the last minute. Build in time to relax and enjoy, and laugh at the inevitable mishaps. There will be some, and they make for the best stories later. So thanks for joining me for this conversation about holiday travel with your aging parents. Whether you're heading to the mountains, the beach, or grandma's house, remember that some of the richest holiday memories are made not just at your destination, but along the way. Listen for compassion, plan for comfort, and cherish the small moments. From everyone at Senior Safety Advice, we're wishing you safe travels and happy holidays to you and your loved ones. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.
This podcast is part of our mission to help older adults live safely and independently. If you'd like to take the next step, visit aginginplacedirectory.com, where you'll find specialists, helpful resources, and inspiration to make every home your place to thrive.